beauty gang, and welcome to episode 4 of my curly hair series. Today we're going to be talking all about natural hair texture, typing, all that 101, okay? We're specifically focusing on the top 5 texture typing characteristics that tend to circulate around the natural hair community, okay? So be sure that you grab your notes and your pen and your pencil and your highlighters and all that other stuff, because you are going to need it today, boo. If you didn't listen or pay attention to any of the other series videos, today, okay? Listen up. So the first texture typing characteristic we are going to discuss real quick is about porosity. If you didn't watch episode 1 of my series, which discussed the natural hair terms, definitions, and meanings throughout this series, porosity is basically your hair's ability to retain moisture. It is split up into 3 different categories: low porosity, medium or normal porosity, and then high porosity, all which are affected by the cuticle, which is the outer hair layer. And the reason it's essential to know your hair porosity is because it pretty much lets you know how to layer your products. So let me break this down for y'all real quick. Low porosity hair is all about trying to get moisture, okay? It is hungry for moisture. However, something about low porosity hair is the fact that it's a little tight and pretty resistant to receiving moisture and water, but once it's in there, it's gonna stay for a minute. Nevertheless, I should tell you that low porosity hair is prone to product buildup, so liquid based products are the best for low porosity hair. And a lot of people with low porosity hair tend to use the LCO method, which stands for liquid or leave-in, cream, and then oil. So it's basically moisture, moisture, seal. Because like I said in the beginning, low porosity hair is all about getting that moisture. Now for medium to normal hair porosity, it tends to be less maintenance and it tends to hold styles very well. However, if you have normal or medium hair porosity, that can change depending on how much heat you use or how much chemical processes you put your hair through. Normal hair porosity is known to hold moisture and shine for an extended period of time. And then for my high porosity girls, it is all about sealing in that moisture, okay? That's your main focus, to seal in your moisture, because high porosity hair typically has holes and gaps in the cuticles, which makes it prone to tangles and frizz because it absorbs so much moisture. And just as fast as it gets in moisture, it also tends to lose moisture, if not faster. So for high porosity hair people, I would recommend the LOC method, which is liquid or leave-in, an oil, and then a cream. So you're gonna have the moisture seal moisture. See how that works? You're locking in that first moisture and then adding another moisture on top of it just in case it slips out, or you know how that goes, okay? And because high porosity hair loses moisture easily, it's highly recommended to use leave-in conditioners because they tend to be the best in terms of keeping your high porosity hair moisturized. So that is hair porosity, and of course I'm not going to leave you guys hanging. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to find out your hair's porosity. So there are 2 different ways to find your hair's porosity. The first way I'm going to show you guys is take a strand of hair. It's recommended to take it out of a comb or brush, but I don't be brushing this thick mane of mine, so I went ahead and plucked mine. Y'all probably can't really see that, but anyway, you take that strand and you put it in a clear cup, or as you see here, I'm using a water bottle, and you put it in there and let it sit for 10 to 15 minutes. Then you will check to see what level your hair has ended up at. If it's low, it'll be at the top still. If it's high, it'll sink to the bottom, and if it's normal, it'll stay in the middle. Now another way of checking your hair porosity is to grab a single strand of hair, just one, and you're going to glide your finger up and down the hair shaft. If you feel little bumps along the way, that probably means you have high porosity hair, and if your finger slips smoothly through your shaft, then you have low porosity hair. Alright, so now on to density. So density is the amount of strands on your head, aka how close strands are packed together. It's important to know your hair's density because it helps with the amount of product to apply to your hair, and therefore knowing that it helps when styling your hair. So there are also 3 levels of density. There is low, there is medium, there is high. Low is aka thin, high being aka thick. So with low density, you want to try to stick to less lighter products, or else it'll weigh your hair down. And it's good to work in smaller sections when doing twist outs, braid outs, bantu knots, anything you can think of when styling your hair so that it's more volume when you take the style down. A good styling product typically for low density hair is mousse. It helps with the volume and the life and just the slayage, okay? As for medium density hair, you can go the mousse and dry shampoo route, which helps with volume, or you could go the heavy cream and butters route, which weighs down your hair and gives it a little bit more hang time. And then for high density hair, which is thick hair, it's good to apply a lot of product because your hair is just so full and thick, and work in bigger sections for volume, because if you work in smaller sections, it's gonna look kind of like compact and stuff. I don't know if you've ever noticed that if you do have high density hair, but work in bigger sections for fuller looks. And the best type of products to use for high density thick hair is butters, creams, and gels, because all those things help to hold the curls together and reduce volume if you're not like big on that. Again, I'm not gonna leave you guys hanging. We're gonna cut real quick to a clip of how you can figure out your hair's density. You can determine your hair's density by taking a look at it in its natural state and making sure that your hair is dry when you're doing this. Now obviously, if I part my hair, you can kind of see my scalp as I'm showing you here. But if I was to shake my hair out and just wear it in its natural state without moving or manipulating my hair at all, I'll be able to tell what density I have. Now you cannot see my scalp at all without me touching my hair. I have high density hair. Now if you do the same thing and you can easily see your scalp without parting it or anything, you have low density hair. Now real quick, we're going to discuss hair width, okay? A lot of people kind of confuse hair density and hair width, but in actuality, hair width is the size of your individual strands. And it's important to know the width of your hair because the width of your hair affects your ability to retain length, because it basically tells you how much manipulation your strands can handle. So when it comes to hair width, there are 3 different levels. There is fine, there is medium, and there is coarse. Fine hair tends to be self-explanatory. It's very small, it tends to be weak and more prone to damage, but fine hair loves liquidy products. Now medium hair isn't thick nor thin, but it is strong and has great elasticity. And then if you have coarse strands, that is the strongest strand you can possibly have. They can handle a lot of manipulation and appreciate heavier products. So the coarse strand is the widest strand there is. No worries, I got y'all. Let's cut into the clip to teach you how to figure out your hair width. Take a hair strand, they suggest out of a brush or a comb. I just plucked it out of my head, and you hold it up to the light. If it's so thin that you can barely see it, then you have fine hair, and if it's thick and easy to see, then you have coarse hair, and obviously if it's in between, then you have medium. Alright, now for, I'm sure, the thing that majority of people are waiting for, the hair typing section that the natural community is just so obsessed with. There are 4 hair types, okay? 4. Hair type 1 is straight hair. Type 1 hair reflects the most sheen, is hard to damage but damn near impossible to curl. Straight hair you will typically 99.9% find in Caucasian people's hair. Type 2 hair is wavy hair. Type 2 hair tends to have a bit of sheen, but it's prone to frizz. Now for type 3 hair, that is curly hair. Type 3 hair tends to be very damage prone and climate dependent, and the result of not taking care of your type 3 hair, you will have dull curls. That's kind of for almost any hair. You're supposed to take care of it, but especially for type 3, it will tell on you if you ain't taking care of it. Your curls won't be giving anybody life. You won't be slaying. It won't be none of that. So make sure you take care of your hair. And then for type 4 hair, which is yours truly, it tends to be kinky, coily type of hair. You know what's really crazy? A lot of people tend to think because of coily, kinky hair tends to be like the thickest hair there is out of all types, that is the strongest and most resilient and all that stuff, when really type 4 hair tends to be the most fragile and fine. And matter of fact, it can break very easily if not taken care of properly. So it's important to cleanse gently, detangle softly, and avoid harsh chemicals. And I'm so glad I did this research and stuff for this video for you guys, because I always assumed because I have high density hair that I also had coarse width type strands, which was the strongest strands, when really I have fine strands. That's why my hair breaks so easily, splits so easily, all that stuff. So I hope you guys are learning like I learned, because Lord knows I needed to be schooled. For the last category of this natural hair texture typing 101, it's all about the length and the shape, baby. I don't know if anyone has made a specific video talking about the different hair shapes that are within the natural hair community that you can go after. I kind of talked about in the big chop or whatever, try to choose a shape that you would like your hair to grow out into, that you would favor. So the following are different shapes and lengths that you can go for on your natural hair journey. One shape is a fresh fade, okay? Get that slick fresh fade going. Another shape is the TWA, as discussed in episode 1, teeny weeny fro. Another shape you can get is the tapered cut, or you can get an undercut. Another shape is a halo fro. Another hairstyle that you'll see a lot is the blunt bangs, okay, where the hair is full and stuff, but the bangs is just like cut so that the person can still see. There's also the heart-shaped afro, which is like super cute to me, where your hair is styled full and stuff with tons of volume. It's just like, it's so pretty, it's so cute. And then the last shape that I have down, but I'm sure that's not all the shapes that you can possibly come up with, but the last shape is long layers. Everything is damn near the same length all the way around. So those are the different lengths and shapes that you can choose from when it comes to starting and or indulging in your natural hair journey, girl. But yeah, you guys, that was a mouthful. That is all I have for you guys. Really hope this series is helping you guys better understand your hair, how to take care of it, how to go about starting your natural hair journey, and just going natural overall. This was a really big video, and I know you have to take in a lot and try to comprehend a lot. So if you have any questions that I did not touch on or anything like that, please don't hesitate to comment it below. Again, Beauty Gang, if you guys see somebody's question that you know the answer to, go ahead and answer it for them. We are all family here. And yeah, at the end of the day, the message of this video is to enjoy your personal natural hair journey, and the fact that nobody's natural hair journey is the same, so comparing your hair to somebody else's isn't really smart to do anyway, because you know, you might have the same texture as somebody like 4A, 4B like myself, but you might have low porosity hair, high density, and medium width. So it's like, come on now, boo. Or there can be somebody with high porosity, medium density, type 3 hair, and coarse width. So it's just like, it's just all over the place, okay? So really hope you guys got a better understanding of natural hair typing and textures. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for episode 5 of this curly hair series, y'all. Until next time, guys. Bye.